Hey y'all, welcome to Backstage at the Bluebird, our inaugural episode where I, Johnny Ellis, introduce Andrew Jones
Howdy.
to the wonderful show and the wonderful world and the wonderful city of Nashville,
Tennessee.
Now, USA.
This is an ABC show, right?
It is for now.
Yes. But for the first 3 seasons, it's an ABC Studios Broadcast Corporation show.
So far, yes.
So far.
We'll get to that when we come back.
Look, I'm learning the ropes. You've got to start with your ABCs.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go G, D, A, G, D, A, B. I don't know country music.
Well, hopefully by the end of this, you will.
The episode or the whole show?
Let's go for the show, but
okay.
You know, if we're lucky, the episode, who knows?
Oh, right. Skip to the end, see how I'm doing.
So
we've just do a yodel. Yes, we've just sorry.
We've just finished watching Pilot, the aptly named Pilot episode.
Can't get
Nashville.
More interesting a title than that. Tells you everything. No, but we should go into specifics. I've never seen more than 10 minutes of the show before.
I thought you'd watched the first episode before, but maybe it'd been.
Turns out, didn't make it more than 10 minutes because
really?
I did not realise the powers that Boothe would be in the first episode, even though because his name comes up in the credits, but that happens after the opening logo, which is 10 minutes into the show. So I didn't make it that far. It turns out.
Okay, right. That makes sense then. If you didn't make it to the end of this episode, I understand why you didn't become fully invested.
But yeah,
this is a show that's close to my heart. I've only ever watched the show the whole way through once, so this is my first rewatch of it, which is quite intriguing. It's strange seeing just how much is set up in this first episode already. So we open with the Eli Young band singing "Even If It Breaks Your Heart" over shots of Nashville.
God, I'm glad you know this kind of stuff.
I was
not ready to research.
I've made notes. And do you remember the first line of the show?
Well, I was going to ask real quick. The band. So Eli Young band.
The Eli Young band. I haven't looked into them actually, to be honest.
Sorry,
it popped up on the.
I would assume to some degree led by Eli Young.
I believe so. Yes.
Or maybe it's just a joke. Eli Young is a guy they know. They want to frame him for murder, so they fall in locations where murders happen and say, "Well, you haven't got an alibi. You were playing on stage, but then you got off stage to perform murder. You were arrested."
Actually, it's Mike Eli on lead vocals and guitar, and James Young, and John Jones on bass guitar. James Young on guitar, John Jones on bass guitar, and Chris Thompson drums, but it's just called the Eli Young Band. So it's not the Eli Young Jones Thompson Band.
Yeah, and as a Jones, I find this offensive. More Jones in music, please.
So they've been around
Bowie
since
changed
2000.
his name.
To Ziggy.
We've got Tom Jones. We've got Kelly Jones of the Stereophonics. But what else have we got? Nora.
Well, there's not many Ellises. I'm only halfway with Eli. That's
but they don't say keeping up with the Ellises. That's not a thing. It's not as common. Smith, Brown, Jones.
So here you are complaining, and I've got nothing.
Yeah, but there's underrepresentation.
I've got an island,
of
I
Jones.
suppose.
It's an underrepresentation of the wide swath of Jones.
I didn't think we were going to dive so deep into this.
It's the same as look. Mohammed is the most popular name out there. And it's like doing something where no one's named Mohammed. It's like, no, you're not representing enough you're not making a microcosm of the whole of the world if you're just censoring out Mohammed or a Jones. You've got to have the right amount of these people just so we can have that is what society was like in a nutshell, crammed in percentage-wise.
It's just the first line of my notes.
More Jones in music, please. Don't be afraid.
Thanks for joining us.
The Jones a little bigger, darling.
So yeah, do you remember the first line of the show?
I believe it's welcome to Los Angeles, California, where no music is played and everyone gets laid.
It's Teddy, a little help, please, said by Raina, the arguably the star of the show.
Connie Britton. Can't get better.
Yep, Connie Britton plays Serena James.
And it was who needed a little help?
Teddy. She needs a little help from Teddy because
Teddy's
her two daughters.
Right?
No, Teddy is her husband.
Teddy's the husband?
Yeah.
Who would name someone called Teddy? Would you marry a Teddy?
Teddy Conrad. Yeah, I know. Would you vote for someone called Teddy?
I'd vote for someone called Teddy over marrying them and having children with them, to be honest.
Well, there's Teddy and Raina. Right. Teddy Conrad and Raina James.
She didn't take his name. He didn't take her name.
She's a country star, so she's got to keep the name, I think.
Okay, but if you were married to Dolly Parton, would you call yourself Johnny Ellis or Johnny Parton?
True.
Right? Embrace.
Yeah. Well, that's the choice they went with.
Yeah.
And they've got.
And, by the way, congratulations on your matrimony. So,
thank you very much.
It was a beautiful ceremony.
So we're in the James or the Conrad household, and the two daughters, Maddie and Daphne Conrad, are running
Maddie
around.
Conrad and Daphne.
Daphne Conrad.
Yep. Oh, we sure?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Why?
Half and half.
Half and half.
One gets the father's name, one gets the mother's name. If we're not going to change names, let's either double barrel it or split the family.
Well, I mean, Maddie and Daphne are played by real life sisters, Lennon and Maisie Stella, and it's so weird rewatching this, just how young they are here.
Because now they're about they're in retirement homes, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, Lennon, both of them are quite successful artists in their own right now. Lennon, I believe, has released an LP, an album recently. I don't think she's stuck too close to the country stuff, but
somehow someone found her and said, "Hey, you from obscurity should be part of the music industry." years into a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, they're already releasing singles during this show. The show itself was releasing singles, and albums.
What?
Which brings us to our first song.
And I suppose you're going to say that at some point they did some sort of live touring concert, but that'd be ridiculous.
Funny you'd say that because we go straight from the Conrad James household,
where she is
Raina James singing "Already Gone" at the Grand Ole Opry.
Cut straight from her looking at herself, bang, right to the Opry, right in the middle of the song.
At a celebration of Wattie White, her producer. Who I believe is retiring. And
now, Wattie White is a retiring producer who has also got cancer and is starting to create meth.
Wrong show.
No, what?
So they're at a celebration of Wattie White, where Raina also meets Scarlett O'Connor, sorry, played by Claire Bowen, the incomparable Claire Bowen, my favourite.
The unconquerable
my favourite actress in this whole show.
The unsinkable Claire Bowen.
Whose Uncle Deacon is Raina's lead guitar in her band.
Yes, Deacon, of course. This is I would venture the matinee idol of the show, Chip Esten from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Chip Esten. Chip Esten. Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's Chip Esten.
So Scarlett meets Raina and introduces her to Avery, her boyfriend.
Who total cool guy. Nothing wrong with him whatsoever. I think my prediction for season 6, the final episode, like you and Dolly Parton, married.
Okay, right.
And in love, and nothing has gone wrong for 6 seasons. Just a perfect loving relationship between the two of them. This is bolstered by the fact that in a bit of time, he has a staring fling with the other lead actress of the show. And I think that's just like a throwaway, like, oh, you think he's going to be this guy? No. Perfect gentleman for the next 6 seasons.
My other leading actress? Could you possibly mean Juliette Barnes, played by Hayden Panettiere?
Panettiere?
Yeah. Panettiere? Yeah.
Panholder.
Am I not? Who is the next character we are introduced to? She's in a dressing room. She is the next big thing.
She is backstage, not at the Bluebird, as we are now, as you can hear.
She's in her dressing room at the Grand Ole Opry, waiting
So
to
you're
go
saying
on
that way
stage.
too quickly. The Grand Ole Opera.
And
How
we
do you
see
misspell so much?
a pile of books driving them crazy. She's already written a book, and some albums. I couldn't get a look at the title of the album, but I believe it was All My Angels, which is the album that is on the wall further on in the episode when
at the record.
Yeah, at the record label.
Label, that's the word.
Yep.
I know the industry. I've been involved. Label. Yes. And she's also testing out perfume bottles.
She is, all filled with water, so how's she going to choose it? You know?
Because she's smart. And what we're establishing here is she's smart and young and full of muscle.
And with a drug-addicted mother who calls her mobile. Somehow her mum's got her mobile number.
Cell phone. This is Nashville.
Cell phone, sorry.
And she don't like that one. Yeah.
She's not happy with it.
Assistant.
Her assistant is supposed to be making sure that her mum doesn't have her cell phone number. And she says she has to change it again and throws the entire phone in the bin. In the trash can. Sorry, trash can.
Thank you. She's got cell phone money. She's got money to burn her.
Cut 2, we're back in the corridors backstage at the Grand Ole Opry.
Some say the halls of power in Nashville. Yes.
And Raina James bumps into Audrey and Coleman Carlisle. Coleman is about to announce his mayoral candidacy.
He himself will be Monday. Said candidate.
And he wants Raina to perform for him.
Well, yeah, look, you're getting your pronouns all messed up over here.
Right. I'm just excited to be back in Nashville, man.
It's been a while.
It has been too long. Juliet comes out into the corridors and bumps into Deacon.
Right, remember him?
Completely Charles Esten. Fangirls over him and just says how much she loves his music, especially Been and Gone, which we haven't heard yet, but who knows? Maybe we
probably never will. I'm guessing.
And we learn that Deacon has been with Raina for about 20 years or so as a guitarist.
Right, not as like a love on the side, because she's got Teddy.
Yes, she does have Teddy. And then we get Juliet. Theodore. Juliet bumps into Avery, or Avery bumps into Juliet. And he apologizes. And she said, "Oh, don't apologize. You should try it again sometime, only slower." Woohoo!
And I don't understand what that means. Does she like getting hit? Is that the thing? It's like Don Cheadle at the start of Crash when he's talking about we all live in our bubbles. Sometimes you have to crash into each other to feel something. Is that what she's referring to?
This is a loose adaptation of Crash.
Yes, this is going to solve racism in Nashville. And also there will be a scene in which people have a lot of sex at car crashes. It's going to redo both of those films. It's got. Hey, look, we've got 124 episodes.
Yeah,
at least 2 of them have to be crash related now.
Well, before that, we haven't even had Raina and Juliet meeting, which we have now.
What the leads of the show?
The 2 leads of the show. This is going to go perfectly, right? Sure.
Oh, look, because Raina's old guard and Juliet, name correct?
Yep, Juliet.
Yep. Juliet is young and scrappy. And the 2 of them are just going to be like best friends because they understand the industry and that women have to stick together to stop any kind of, I don't know, some sort of terrible producers, some overwhelming record labels. They've got to stand tall and be successful together and not fight because there's no point in fighting against each other when they can work together, right?
Well, Juliet tells Raina that her mama was one of your biggest fans.
Before she got into the drugs.
And that she used to have Raina's music on while Juliet was in the womb because Juliet couldn't escape.
Because Raina's old. Did you get it? She's old.
Yeah.
And also, I think that means that the music had an effect on Juliet, which is why she turned out to be not a drug addict. So it's a compliment. Perhaps. In fact, it's a compliment.
Yeah. Backhanded, but it's a compliment all the same.
Hey, that's how I do all mine.
While Raina says, you better hurry on and make sure those girls are tucked in before you go out on stage.
And she's referring to her daughters.
Yeah.
Because Hayden Panettiere is actually the babysitter. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
of
cool.
course. And now
What a
comes the
breast.
crux. The crux of the whole show really is that Raina's losing ticket sales and her album's fallen down in the charts. She's not as popular as she once was.
What?
So we need a new idea. We need something to bring her to a new generation. And what better idea than to combine her tour with Juliet's tour? But who goes on first?
Exactly, that's the thing. So they're bringing a young, scrappy newcomer to the tour of an old, well-established star.
And basically, Raina has to open for Juliet.
That's not fun. Even though at some point that was going to switch, right?
Yep.
It's like Connor for real and Hunter the Hungry. It's 100%.
Yeah.
It's basically pop star never stopping is happening in Nashville, and I can't wait for one of them to have a problem where's their dick? Where's their dick though? I don't know who's not going to have a dick out of the two of them.
Well, that's the pitch. Raina has to come to the decision by next Monday, and let the new label head Marshall Evans at Edge Hill Republic Records know what her decision is.
She don't want to do it. It's pride.
Yeah, and she's busy watching Juliet singing "Love Like Mine," our second song of the show, on stage through the TV systems, and she's not happy.
She switches
it's
it off
not her
halfway
music.
through.
Yeah, yep. And then we come to the title card. We're at Nashville. That's the show. The show is Nashville, just in case you weren't aware.
So it's a guitar bridge going down the strings.
Yeah.
And it says Nashville, but it's in a different font, and then it just turns into another font all of a sudden. And that's it.
Yeah.
Nashville.
Simple.
Two fonts. Two titles.
Yep.
There's the title on the poster, and there's then there's the title on, I don't know, the ticket. That you're flying to Nashville.
Exactly.
Yes, professional and country.
So now
I don't get the title treatment yet. I don't know if it's going to have any relevance later on.
No, it's just from what I recall, it doesn't change throughout the
it's not like the Cougar Town situation where slowly onwards they're regretting calling it Nashville because they're shooting it in Vancouver, and it's like, we wish we didn't call it this, but now it's on our VTRs, TVRs, whatever they call them. I don't know technical stuff with TVs either. I don't know anything. This is a good part of the show. I'm going to be on an educational journey.
Well, let me educate you about Lamar Wyatt and Lamar Wyatt Day, which is becoming a thing. Lamar Wyatt, played by the late, great Powers Boothe. Our first introduction to him.
I just did my, the cross.
Oh. So Lamar is Raina's daddy.
Don't. No.
I'm pretty sure she calls him daddy.
She does. I don't get people calling him that. Father. Papa.
Papa.
Padre.
So she turns up to support her daddy for Lamar Wyatt Day, and she's late, and she asks, "Don't ask me to do this again. I don't want to be involved with this family." Yeah. There's some, there's some rifts in between the family here, and we see Juliet singing "Boys and Buses" in the studio, while her entourage around her are all just saying how bad she is and how
she needs auto-tune.
Auto-tune is going to fix it.
Which is weird, because when I saw people in entourages, they used to be quite positive on the star. And that, they were the best person at all. I even did a whole podcast about, You
did indeed. But Juliet's a heartbreaker, but she's also a moneymaker,
Yeah.
But who would be a fan of Juliet Barnes? But Raina's two daughters.
Oh, that's convenient.
Who hear her in the car and they say, "Oh, turn it up," and she turns it off. She's not a fan.
She does what? Sorry.
She's not a fan.
What does she do with the music?
She turns it off.
Oh, like a light switch.
Like a light switch. What's that in reference to? I'm confused now. Oh, right. I've still not listened to Book of Mormon. It's not country.
Turn it off. It's not country. In fact, it's as far from country as possible. It's the Great White Way.
So we're back at Raina and Teddy's house. and they're worried about the record and tour and bills. Raina doesn't want to lie.
Why are they worried about money?
Well, they're what did they say they were? They were cash poor.
They're cash poor, but why?
Yeah.
Why are they cash poor? She's, a successful star, although
but her numbers are dropping.
The numbers maybe not dropping, but he's got to be well off, right? He's not got any problems going on with him.
He's got some problems going on, but maybe Lamar could help fix that.
No.
Give Teddy a sense of purpose. Raina doesn't want to lie and pretend she likes Juliet's music.
Of course,
but she won't get support for her album. She says no, and she's definitely against borrowing money from Daddy.
Ugh. Why?
So she goes to Randy, to Randy's apartment to ask about these 3 songs that he suggested to release, and she wants to release one of them as a bonus track, but they're all gone. She took too long. She was against it at first, but now that her numbers are dropping, she wants to do it, but it's too late. They're all gone, and it took about a year to find those 3 songs. He can't find another one so quickly.
Of course not.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to, I don't get it with this Juliet girl.
She's, young.
She's adolescent crap. She sounds like feral cats."
Well, we've all heard what feral cats sound like, and they sound like Taylor Swift.
We should rewatch Cats, I know. And who's in the bedroom listening but Juliet? Juliet is sleeping with Randy.
Oh my gosh.
I know. What? And then, right.
Wait, hold on a second. Is Randy going to be a main part of the show? Because he was just like this random guy.
No, I don't.
Are you calling him Randy because he's a random guy?
He is.
And also because
his name is
Randy.
His name is Randy. He is a Randy guy, and he's a random guy.
Hey, it's a well-written show.
Yeah. And hey, now we come to the Bluebird Cafe.
What? Where we are now?
16 minutes in, finally,
16 minutes
at the Bluebird Cafe. And we see Deacon, played by
Chip Esten.
Charles Esten.
Chip.
In the round, which is in the middle of everyone, singing Back Home, which is quite nice. Did you like Back Home? Found Back Home?
It did not resonate with me.
What do you think about his singing?
I would just say the music didn't really attract me on this one. He's got a strange voice. It's very disconcerting.
All right, well maybe
he's got a twang to his.
This is the pilot episode. There's room for improvement, but
needs autotune is what I'm saying.
Did you know, by the way? Did you know Charles Esten got a Guinness World Record?
Oh, what?
For most consecutive weeks. Most consecutive weeks to release an original digital single by a music act. So this was back in 2018.
Oh, when he was releasing music.
Yeah, he had a hashtag Every Single Friday campaign, which began on 15th of July 2016 and ended on 21st of July 2017. And every Friday he'd post a brand new song. Just a little tidbit for you there.
All of them cover versions of Eiffel 65.
Oh yeah.
After week 3, became very hard.
So Juliet is there incognito with sunglasses and a hat on, listening to her favorite songwriter, Deacon. Sure. Sat in the church pews, which are like sort of to the left of the Bluebird, as you know, because we're here right now.
I'm backstage. I can't see it.
If you just take a peek.
No, my eyes have just been gouged out, so that's a problem.
The show ends, and Avery, who we haven't really spent much time with yet, Scarlett's boyfriend, comes up to...
Good guy. Good guy.
I thought you said the guy, that guy. He comes up to Deacon and he says, "Have you listened? I gave you a demo. Remember that demo I gave you? It's kind of country, punk, cerebral." To which Deacon says, "Punk is code for you can't play it all." But he says he promises he won't use it as a coaster. He will listen to it one day. And then up comes Gunner.
Oh yeah,
lovely Gunner. You know Gunner's English? Did you get that from him at all? Because we watched the Bluebird documentary and he did turn up, but I thought maybe you'd have forgotten.
Yeah, I don't recall Gunner here either, actually.
Oh well, he's the one. He can't take his eyes off Scarlett. And Deacon.
Oh, so he's you.
So
he's English. He can't take eyes off this guy. Right, I got it.
So Deacon, after kind of saying, "Oh yeah, I've got your demo. I won't use it as a coaster," to Avery, he turns to Gunner and he says, "Great things are coming for you. You're going to be on that stage one day. It's not long till you're up there.
It's not gonna be a problem for you."
God, really? And he talks about Scarlett. He says, "What are you reckon about Avery?" And Gunner says, "I don't know, you know." And he says, "Well, you know, keep an eye on her." And he says, "Well, I can't take my eyes off Scarlett." And she's got a stalker. And Deacon says, "Well, you better look out because she's got the family curse. She always picks the ones who break your heart." Which is, I wonder what
that can mean.
What Deacon's curse?
I don't know what that would refer to at all. I mean, there's no kind of other characters that he might have been with at any point that have been introduced so far. So it's very confusing. There's just maybe it's just an improv from classic Chip Esten improv.
Maybe. We'll never know. Hold of that demo.
Oh boy,
that's a prop.
It's one of the greatest hits.
We're out in the Bluebird parking lot now.
Yes, it's outside. I've been there a couple of times, but most of the time I'm chained up in here awkwardly.
Don't complain. I'll just tighten those chains. I'll do it.
I'll welcome it. Go on.
So Juliet comes up to Deacon and kind of flirts with him. Asks him if she wants to write with him and record Back Home, which he was just singing in Bluebird. And she wants him as a new band leader. And he says, "Well, no, I'm working with Raina. I'm Raina's band leader."
Yeah.
She says, "I don't think that tour's gonna happen." So, well, I haven't heard that. Well, that's all I'm saying. So he has a new job opportunity.
Yeah.
With someone who's on the rise.
And will have investment.
Yeah.
It's a firm financial security. But is it selling your soul and your artistry and your friendship? These are the kind of dilemmas of drama.
And we're only in the pilot episode.
We're not even at the end of it yet. Because she's got to get in her car, listen to some real weird electronic music going on.
It is weird for a country star to be listening to that, but okay.
Hey, people, you got your music education from a lot of places.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it's the next day now. Lamar is looking at perhaps introducing was it a baseball court? Is that what
it's a sports
ground
venture. I don't know the difference between half of the stuff.
And he starts talking about how he wants.
Look, it's not a cricket pavilion.
He wants his own mayor. He wants to control the mayor, basically.
The powers that Boothe wants to be the power behind the powers.
If only there was someone who was cash poor who he could manipulate, perhaps.
And like nearby, on
the family tree. Nearby on the family tree. How about Teddy?
No, his name's Teddy. He's unelectable just by that.
It is true. It's but Theodore
Roosevelt. You see?
Yeah.
He was called Teddy once you got used to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, it's Teddy Roosy. Because that's terrible.
Well, we're back on stage now. Raina is rehearsing, singing "It's My Life."
The Bon Jovi classic.
No, this isn't. No.
This is New Jersey. Sorry. That's my next venture.
Another original song
is Red Bank.
All these songs that we've had so far, you only hear little snippets of it, but you can listen to them on the album.
Sorry. At the credits at the end, it didn't say buy the album now. Click here. Weird.
No, not yet. But
every week there's a voiceover going. Y'all don't forget to tip your waitresses and buy the album. I'll come back now.
So Raina's rehearsing. We hear a bit of "It's My Life" before she starts having a diva dip, as she calls it.
Oh yeah, she does.
And throws down a headset that's $1,200 apparently.
Yeah, expensive in ears.
Well, I don't know. Her producer says, "Oh, that's $1,200," but is that the headset or is that just the time that she's wasting.
I think it's all of it. But it's expressively discussing the actual monitors themselves being like it's a cock-eared spaniel.
Well, she needs a break.
Distorted. She does need a break.
And she comes out to the bridge outside and walks and talks with Deacon.
Deacon, yeah, who they've worked together and nothing.
They've worked together for 20 years. 20
it's
plus years.
It's a long friendship.
And he says to her, you can cut and run and come back anytime. He says you're not some overnight sensation.
Nope.
But you are sensational overnight. What?
I don't understand that. Is that another one of his classic means nothing improv? That Chip Esten joke.
And he tells her that Juliet has come and offered him a job.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks, I always wondered why you never cut more of my songs, the ones I've written. And she says, yeah, I always thought they were about me. And he says they are.
Which that's quite sweet because I write about my friends a lot as well.
Yeah.
And my platonic neutral friends.
Oh yeah, platonic neutral friends.
Yeah.
So now we're at a radio show, Watty White's radio show on WFM.
Producer and meth dealer.
Tammy Wynette's Stand By Your Man has just finished. And Raina is on the show. It's sort of like a Songs of Your Life. This is Your Life. Desert Island Discs kind of thing. And she chooses her 8th song is the song that made her want to be a country star. Rose-Colored Glasses by John Conley. John Conley. I don't know why I said it like that.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
And she starts talking about this girl, Juliet. Again, she just can't keep her off her mind while the song's playing.
Should be Barnes
off air.
Talking about.
She says to Watty, do you think she's going to be a flash in the pan? Or he's like, no, I don't think so. I think she's in it for the long run.
Yeah.
You better hedge your bets. Juliet, meanwhile, is back in the studio. She's hidden away. People are looking for her. She's in the closet talking to her mum.
She got another phone call?
Yeah, from her mum somehow. Her mum's found a number again. And all she wants is about $50. That's all.
I mean, I think if we gathered a group together, we could probably fund her.
Yeah.
And this is 2012 money as well, so it's much cheaper. It's before the economy went bust a third time.
Well, someone finds her. I believe it's Randy. And she starts making out with him.
Because then they get Randy.
Yep.
She gets off the phone, she gets on him.
She gets off the phone and gets off with him. Yeah.
Yes, we both did the joke. We're adults.
Yep. Meanwhile, Lamar convinces Teddy to run for mayor.
Did you stop calling him Lamar and just calling him Powers?
Daddy.
You know, Lamar.
No, you're right. Daddy,
no,
Daddy comes to Teddy and says, Teddy, listen to Daddy.
Do you call your father Daddy?
No, I just call Lamar Teddy.
Do you call your mum Mumsy?
No, Lamar. And Teddy says, I don't know about it. He says, all right, promise you won't hurt Cole.
Raina.
And Raina, but mainly Cole, his competition. Don't, I know what you're like. Don't go spreading rumours. And
don't go whacking him in the middle of the night.
Don't play dirty, and I'll consider it. So now he's got to go back home and tell Raina he's going for mayor, and Daddy's told him to go for mayor. The problem is, Raina has already said she'll play at Cole's announcement at the same time because they're both going to announce on Monday.
Oh dear, that's
so
like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, is Raina going to go and play a song or two at Cole's announcement, or is she going to go and support her husband Teddy
and destroy an African American community who might do something so that she can get a leg up in power and some sort of white supremacist situation? I'm assuming. It seems like the politics of this aren't well organised.
Yeah. Well, back at the Bluebird, Scarlett and Gunnar are sat together, and she shows Gunnar her poems that she writes. She writes poems,
which
she doesn't.
I guess she could set to music.
She could. She knows a few chords here and there, but she doesn't.
It's how the Red Hot Chili Peppers got started.
Gunnar just snatches the poems away from her. Says, "All right, you sing and I'll play, and you just let me know when I'm close." And he starts playing the tune, and What's going to happen there? What's that going to turn into? I
this
wonder.
is what I asked you as well. You just tell me when you're close. Weirdly, it's been a long time behind at the backstage, and never once. Never once.
Never once. Well, I'm still
warmer, colder.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's warmer.
Oh dear.
So now we have the meeting at the label with Raina, who my notes have turned into Ryan.
Hey, now. If you're fancying a gender reversal Nashville, let's get it going.
So Raina's been at Edge Hill for 20 years. She's won 9 Grammys and 4 CMAs in that time.
They've got her records up on the wall.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, decent size, not too over the top, not too dramatic, nothing, disgusting and like an eyesore. No one would want, your picture huge and your name huge and badly written.
Yeah.
Juliet Dance.
Juliet Dance, that's what you thought. Yeah.
The kerning is off on Juliet's gigantic blow up.
So she has a meeting and she basically ends the meeting with "You can kiss my decision" as it's walking out the door. So I don't think she's going to do that tour.
I don't understand how her ass is a decision. I'm assuming that's what she's going for. It's very confusing. I don't understand business.
Nashville.
Music and arse industries.
And so she leaves the meeting and goes and faces Daddy, and she says, "What do you want from Teddy? What's your end game here?" And he says, "You just support your husband, right? Don't you worry about anything else. You just support your husband." And
Powers Booth starts going and chomps a cigar.
He says, "Remember." Go on.
And he opens the door, and there's a group of people who are just tied up, bloodied, and he gets the cigar chomper out and he goes, "Watch this as well while I'm doing this," and starts chopping them up to pieces. And he goes, "But don't worry, everything's fine. Just focus." Good guy, Powers.
Yeah. And he says, "Don't forget who paid for your first album."
I'm assuming that means the record label. The record label paid for the first album.
That's it wasn't that. What? It wasn't that Rinky Dink record label.
What? But even a Rinky Dink record label, they'll have to, secure a viable disc to put it on, and an MP3 player that can then convert the. I don't understand. That's digital technology, right? Maybe it's in WAV form. Maybe it was in WAV form, and that has to get a bigger file size because it's uncompressed. That does cost a lot. That does cost a lot.
Well, he just says to Raina, support Teddy for little Maddie's sake. What's that all about?
I don't know.
What's that all about?
I don't know, Johnny. Don't ask me these questions. It's not fair. I genuinely have no ability to understand.
After all he's done for you, especially as it relates to little Maddie.
Now, little Maddie is
the eldest daughter.
Okay.
Raina's eldest daughter, especially as it relates to little Maddie. I didn't realize that they set this up in the pilot episode until I rewatched this.
Okay, I've seen Chinatown. Is it that?
I've not seen Chinatown. So what is that?
Let's watch Chinatown
then. And then we cut to the final sort of scene, I'm trying to think of the word. It's cut between different scenes.
Montage.
That was it. And what do you need for a montage? You need a song.
No.
You need a song for a montage.
Johnny, I don't think we should put songs in this. We can't put music in a show.
We have the best song, and we have the most full song of this pilot. If I Didn't Know Better, with Scarlett and Gunnar up on stage at the Bluebird.
Right.
Meanwhile, Juliet is with Deacon at her mansion, songwriting, as the kids call it these days.
These days, kids don't call it anything because they're not out there doing anything. So we're in lockdown.
And Raina is backstage at Teddy's male candidacy announcement.
Which is different to being backstage at the Bluebird.
Yes, very different.
Because we don't have any kind of expectation.
So she's gone to Teddy. She's gone to support her husband instead. She's just about to go out, and her producer gives her a call because he's at the Bluebird, He says, just listen to this. And he holds the phone up.
And our producer is
Scarlett.
Marvin Berry.
He holds the phone up to Scarlett and Gunnar singing "If I Didn't Know Better," and this for me was the moment where I was like, "Okay, I'm in with this," and I totally understand now why you didn't get interested because you hadn't reached this point.
Because I hadn't hit the last 5 seconds of the TV show.
I don't. In my notes here, I've written in caps lock, electricity. The
Yes, you should pay
between between Gunnar and Scarlett is just. I remember watching this the first time, and I think I'd done the same as you. I'd watched like half an episode, and I turned off.
You dismissed it because it's not real country music. It's people talking.
And then I rewatched it, and got to the end of the episode. I was like, oh, I liked it. This is interesting. Okay. And the song is gorgeous, don't you think? I said the song is gorgeous.
I waited for you to explain yourself.
If I didn't know better, come on. I mean, I don't. Just the way that they sound when they're singing it is just. And Gunnar's falsetto is on point. It's just beautiful.
Can you do falsetto? Or are you more trusetto? Of course, trusetto is the Prime Minister of Canada.
I'm more just false. But that's our pilot episode. Now you've finally watched the entire episode, not just.
I've watched all 40 minutes.
How do you feel going into this? Are you intrigued?
I'm still not sure. It's very soapy.
It's very soapy.
It's wildly, unashamedly soapy.
Yeah.
Catty. They're setting up plot lines that are just like, I'm going. Paris Boothe is just clamming it up. He is chomping upon the scenery like nobody's business, which I love. Great. Okay. Simplicity. Cool. Music-wise, I'm still not feeling the actual music yet.
I was just about to ask. I sort of understand that because the music that we have in it, we have about 4 songs.
It's a lot of songs.
But only one we really hear fully at the very end.
And what I will say was with this pilot, we have the scene on the bridge, which was interesting, but beyond that, I don't feel a sense of place. Even with the Bluebird, I feel like there needs to be a bit more connective tissue around the locations and the world. But hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll start seeing more of the world in between the stages. Because we get that opening shot, the opening sequence of her sitting in her house and then cut straight to the stage was a bit too sudden.
Yeah,
a bit too house and then real, stardom. I want the in betweens. I want the moments where people aren't performing and aren't just showing their reality. I want to see how they get from one place to another, how they become not mother, not wife of Teddy.
But you're not completely against continuing this for now.
For now, Johnny, I'm not against continuing sitting through another 40 minutes of this.
I was very worried going into this because I was like, I don't want to.
I would out of hand completely deny the concept of Nashville. I know it's a place.
I was talking to someone last night.
I know it's a state of mind.
I was talking to a friend last night. I said, I'm recording this new podcast.
Yeah,
we're going to give it a try. It's a little test. And I'm just like, I don't want 124 episodes of having to constantly convince Andrew that this is an all right show. I'm not saying it's the best show in the world. It's not Breaking Bad or anything like that. But
no, but it does have a water white.
I enjoy it.
Right, but we're not going to do 124 episodes because next week we're also going to cover this pilot.
We're also what?
Yeah, we're going to watch it backwards to see if it makes more sense if you watch it in reverse.
Is this Tenet?
Yes.
Right.
It's one word. Nashville.
Until next week.
No. Look,
I mean,
I don't know when we're going to come back. If it's going to be a weekly, a bi-weekly, what we're going to do with this.
Until tomorrow.
Probably not. Probably not that quickly. But
until 5 minutes time.
But for now, thank you for sticking with us, and Johnny, thank you for your exhaustive rundown and notes.
I was quite proud of myself, right? And I watched this like 3 times in a row.
You do understand that you've set precedent.
I have indeed. Yeah, it's
get yourself ready to be noting down all of Chip Esten's classic moments.
Oh, Chip Esten doesn't have any classic moments in this.
He does.
Charles Esten has
Who?
some great classic moments.
His
Charles
twin?
Esten has some great classic moments.
I don't know who that is.
Chip Esten doesn't actually appear in this.
Well, he does, because I've seen his face. Weirdly, I didn't hear his voice. I heard some sort of singer's voice. It was very peculiar.
Well,
all right. Well, no, look. You're coming from a place of. I'm coming from ignorance. You're coming from knowledge. From this pilot and love. From this pilot, who has established the best character that they are going to continue with as they are here? Do you see anyone who's like, yes, you've nailed it down from the first moment?
Oh, that's interesting.
Building.
I think there's a lot more to get into with Deacon.
Right.
It turns quite dark, which is quite interesting.
Ship goes dark.
I think Juliet.
Yeah.
Is probably the most. Juliet and Scarlett, I'd say.
So Hayden and Claire.
Yeah. They both do obviously grow into their characters more as the show progresses, and there's more.
Sure.
There's more exploration, and
there's more time, and the writers have had more time to fill out the gaps.
And they do more, but for now, I think it's a great introduction to them. Are
you saying this because you, a young red-blooded male, is looking at two young blonde women and going, "Yes, you're the bestest."
They have more fun, okay? No, I think
you are a gentleman.
Juliet's got the whole sort of, diva-ness going.
Yeah.
And Scarlett is this timid girl who has such potential but hasn't had that shove yet, and Gunnar is there to help with that, and it's Gunnar and Scarlett are a fantastic duo, as we've already seen at the end of this episode.
Right, of course.
So yeah, I would say Juliet and Claire. Or
you say that with such weird love.
I love Claire Bowen. I think she's a fantastic singer. She released her own her debut album must have been 2 years ago or so, and it's well worth a check. It's well worth listening to. I think you should do that before we do our next episode.
That's homework for everybody.
Yes.
Listening.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess for now,
we're
going to have to pack up. The show's over, and we're going to clean up the Bluebird. Let's get
chairs on top of the tables.
Chairs on top of the tables. We've got to get the kitchen sorted out and get a bucket for the bathroom.
Until next time.
Thank you for coming backstage at the Bluebird.